Hello guys, in this video we are going to understand the architecture of ASP.NET Core Razor projects. So this is the same project which we had discussed in the last video. So now let's understand the architecture first. What we have got the code from Visual Studio. Okay, so here you can see these are the dependencies here, like analyzers. Here is the framework for .NET Core, and here is the packages. Packages are related to identity which are already installed, and other than that, here it is the properties, and in properties you can see we have launch settings file, right? And here we can define everything, like you can see here the application URL, development environment, and the pages. Also we can do a lot more things. We will discuss about this in the process of like this tutorial in the next upcoming videos. Okay, so in the next folder you can see here is www root. This folder is basically for keeping all static pages like JavaScript files, libraries, or images, or style sheets. So we can keep all those things here, right? And here in the ADF section, Visual Studio have implemented our identity section. Here you can see here is the view start, and this view start page is basically calling the layout page, right? You can see here it is calling the layout page. This is the main page, and the layout page you can find this page in page folder. So first let's see the data folder. What is again right here? You can see in the data folder we got here like application DB context file. This is basically for connection from the database, and also you can see the migration class is created by the Visual Studio. Here you can see with the table names and the, like you can see here, these are the ID properties of identity table, and the table name also you can see here. This is the table name, ASP.NET roles, and which comes inside the identity role class. Okay, and you can see in the same way you can find all the classes here. Here you can see also the claim class, and in the same way you can find like the ASP.NET users class, and these are the properties. Here you can see above defined properties are here, like property and its data type. So you can see all these things here. Okay, and okay, just okay. So now let's move to the next section. Okay, the next thing is pages. Here you can see in the pages section there is basically one shared folder, and in shared folder this is the layout page. This is the basically the core model, not a model, it's a UI model. Basically it is the UI which acts like a master page, which we had studied in the web forms, and this layout page it works same way as MVC .NET Framework MVC projects. So you can see here in these are the basic HTML page. Inside that we can call our partial page or anything, whatever we want to render we can render here, render body section, and all things will remain same, like complete body and heading section, everything. Okay, and here you can see this is login parcel page, and this parcel page is calling basically like sign in manager, and sign in manager is the part of this, and this class basically sign in manager class. You can also like put navigate to sign in manager class here by pressing F12 over there on sign in manager, and here you can see all the data, all the functionality and properties here defined in the sign in manager class. You can see sign in manager is like this is the class can sign in async, and we need to pass like user class for that as parameter, and it will return as boolean. And for the description you can also click here to read the whole description here. But you can see here returns a flag indicating whether a specified user can sign in. Okay, so if user will be available in our database, then it will return like true. As you can see, its return type is true, boolean, so it will only return either true or false. Okay, so in the same way we can call all these classes, functions or methods here, you can see, by passing their respective parameters. Okay, so basically here this is the same thing which is already implemented here. You can see here in the sign in manager, it is using is signed in. If user is signed in, right, then it will render this section. The if section will be rendered if user is signed in. Okay, and here you can see it is fetching the name from the user section basically, right? This user section, it is fetching the name, and from that user section it is getting the identity and then identity name. Okay, and if user is not signed in, then in that case it will show like this UI will be displayed like login or register. If user is signed in, then you can see that over there like logout or and hello username. Okay, so let's close this thing now. Okay, now you can see we are getting here like we start file. This is basically calling the layout page. Okay, and this is the common error page, and in this error page you can also find here one CS/HTML page .cs file. This is basically for C# coding, right? So this is the predefined method, onGet method. This is basically onGet. That means this is a get method when any page loads first time or loads basically, okay, in the browser, then this get method will be called. And otherwise, if you want to post something to the server, then we can also create in the same way the onPost method. Okay, and let me close this. Okay, so let me close this thing here, and here you can see index file. So basically this is the index page which will be rendered at the initial time whenever this project will run either on the local host or on the server. And this is also the privacy HTML file. This is also like already created by the Visual Studio template. Okay, and here you can find one file like app-settings.json file. Here you can see all these settings, like you can, for now you can see here the default settings, basically default the database connection is here, and we had modified this connection in the last video as we need to use our SQL server, not the SQL server which is present inside Visual Studio. We want to save our data in this SQL server, right? So for that I had modified this all connection string and provided our new database name, or we can also provide like existing database name. Okay, and here you can also find this login information is here, and other than that you can find here program.cs file. This is the basically the main function which is being called whenever we run this project. And other than this, we are also having this one startup file, and this is the main file for configuration, where we like put all our services and middlewares and dependency injections. So basically you can find here these are the already implemented code by Visual Studio. So this area like configure service method, this method, inside this method we use all the dependency injection things and the services. Okay, and in this configure section area, configure method, basically we put all the middlewares here, and all the middleware will run in a pipeline like one after another in a serialized order. So we need to keep things in mind, like we need to put some middleware before, like you can see we need to put authentication before authorization. Okay, and so as you can see, we had created one connection string here, and this connection string is being called from here using the db context class, and this is the application db context class, which is right here. You can see, so this class is basically being called from here. Okay, and in that we are passing like we are saying to use SQL server from here, and we are saying that use this connection string to connect to the database, and we are also passing one options like is sign in is required or not. So for the sign in into our application for a user need requirement of confirmation of their email ID. So once they will confirm, like user will confirm their email ID, only then in that case user will be able to log in into our system. And here you can see there is one more services, add Razor page, and this Razor page is basically, as we are creating this project as Razor page project, so because of that we need to put this service here in the service configuration, configure service section, and also we need to call its related middleware here, you can see in the endpoint section. Okay, and this line is basically identifying this environment, or whether this environment is development or the production, and in this line basically use HTTPS redirection is saying that like redirect this website to HTTPS server from HTTP. Okay, and this section is like indicating that we are going to use the www root folder in this project, basically for keeping all static files, okay, and images or whatever it is. All the static content will be here in the www root folder. And here we are saying we are going to use the routing section in this project, and also we are like indicating that we are going to use authentication service here, and we are also going to use authorization service in this. Okay, so let's move to the next section now. Let's run this project. Okay, so we can understand better all these working. Okay, so now let me close these things and let me hit the IS Express X. So now you can see like we are like Visual Studio is now building the project, and so it may take some time. Okay, it depends on the performance of your machine basically. So you can see now build is succeeded. Okay, now it's running this project. Okay, let's wait for some time to start the browser. Yeah, you can see the browser has started, and now it is loading the index page, as we had discussed here that this page is going to be loaded at the first time when we run this application, and this is the basically the home page. Okay, so here you can see, okay, let it load first. Okay, so here you can see we are getting the index page here. Okay, so if I put here index, then we will get the same page here. Okay, so now let me register a user. Okay, and you can see one more thing, like Visual Studio has automatically like automatically implemented all the validations for this project. And once we will add here like my name, let me add this. Okay, and let me click on again. So you can see one validation is now not appearing. Okay, and let me also enter the password. So you can say password should be at least 6. Okay, and if I put like 1 2 3 4 5 6 password, then it will not take. Okay, let me confirm also. Okay, now you can see the password field is required. Okay, let me click on register. So now you can see password must be at least one non-alphanumeric. Okay, so I need to put like perhaps one capital character, and let me enter rest of the small characters. Okay, and now I am entering one number, and now I am entering one special character. Okay, so let me repeat the same. So now I have used all these given formats for the password, like okay, all the formats. Now we will click on register button here. Now it's loading. Okay, so let's wait for some time. So basically I have followed all the regular expression here for entering the password here. Now let me click on here for now. Okay, and now you can see register confirmation. So app does not currently have real email sender as registered. Okay, see docs for how to configure real email sender. So basically it is saying like the registration process has been completed. And let me see here this right now. Okay, let me refresh this section here. So you can see I have got one more database here, register pages, and inside this register pages you can see here the tables, and also you can see the registered user here in this table. So here you can see one user which I had just registered, and that is here in the database. Okay, so you can see everything is created automatically, like all the tables and database here got created automatically. So now suppose let me delete this database again, right? So let me delete this first. Okay, okay, let's wait for some time. Let's see. Okay, okay, now you can see drop failed for the database. Okay, so okay, sorry, I clicked by mistake 2 times on the same button. Okay, let's wait again for the completion of this process. Okay, okay, so let's cancel this first. Let me make this database as a single user, single connection user connection. So let me go to the properties. Okay, in the property, let me go to the options here. Okay, and now okay, let's complete first. So now let me come here in the multi session. I just clicked on here single user. Okay, let me click on this yes button. Okay. Okay, now we can delete this database. So here you can see now we do not have any database. Okay, now we are going to create again one more user here. Okay, so let me enter again the same user. Okay, and let me follow the same regular expression for entering the password. And now I just clicked on register button. So here you can see we got internal server error. Basically it is saying we need to apply migrations. Okay, and earlier we did not got this error because we had already the database created in our SQL server, and now we deleted the same database from SQL server. Now there is no database with the name of like Razor page which we have like passed here. So not in the launch. Okay, passed in app settings section. Yeah, this is a database. Now we deleted this database. So basically this is asking us to either create updated database from the package manager console, or we can simply click on here apply migration button. So now I clicked on apply migration button, and now the database is going to be created in the background. So it will apply all the migration with the identity tables in our database. So once let it finish, then I can show you that. So right here you can see it is asking us to try refreshing the page. So let's not refresh. So I'm not going to refresh first. So let me come here in the SQL server and let me refresh the database. And now you can see the database is created here, and in the table section you can see in the tables. Okay, let it expand first. Okay, yeah, you can see here all the tables have been created, and also let me show you the users. Okay, so here you can see we have not any user. Okay, so let me refresh. Let me hit continue button here. Now register confirmation, and let me click on execute button. Okay, so here you can see now user got created here. Okay, and now let me click on login. So let me log in using the same credential. So once I will enter the password. Now let me log in. So here you can see invalid login attempt. So basically what it is saying is like we had like provided one settings here in the Visual Studio. Let me go here first. Okay, so in the startup.cs file we have we have provided one option to the default identity here, like require confirm account true. That means whenever we will try to log in, right, then there should be the confirmed email account, email ID for the user who have registered. But right now we have not confirmed anything, so we have not set up, basically written the code inside to send email to the user's email ID. Okay, email account. So let me set it false. Let me stop it first. So for that what we need to do, we need to set it false. Like we need not to right now require the confirmation for the user email ID. Okay, so let me run this thing again. Okay, so it's building again. Okay, let it complete first. So let it run this. Okay, so till that time let me discuss this thing here. So here you can see we have like provided everything here, and you can see the password. right? This is the password basically, and right here it is password hash. So whatever password I had supplied over there, so what identity is doing, like identity is automatically creating the hash for the password and keeping that hash in our database. And you can see here one more column is here, email confirmed. This email confirmed is set 0 basically, and as the default implementation done by the Visual Studio, it was asking us to set this email confirmed as true by confirming their email ID from their email account. So we need not to implement that section now, right now, for now. So we will discuss that later in upcoming videos. Okay, so let me come here first. Okay, now it's running and you can see the browser is open again. Okay, and the index page is here. So let me log in again using the same credential. Okay, so let me enter the password. Okay, and now let me click login. So I clicked here login and now it's loading. So you can see again it returned like invalid login attempt. So let me create one new user here so that we can understand. Okay, let me use this. Let me create again the password. Okay. So this name is basically already taken. Okay, so let me use different name. Okay. So here you can see the user is registered now. Okay, and let me click on log out. Okay, now logout is working very well. Now again let me log in using this email ID. Okay, I just entered the same password. Okay, and again for this user it is same, basically login attempt failed, and when I will apply the same thing for the new user, like which we created later. Okay, so you can see I am able to log in. So let me see what is the change in the database. So basically we are able to log in using the okay, I got it. So basically I was entering the wrong email ID. Okay, so let me enter this email ID. So let me come here, log out, and let me log in again. Okay, so basically this email ID was I had used to create the account at initial time. Okay, I have used the same password here, and let me log in. So as you can see right here I am able to log in. So like this we can create the identity implementation in the Razor pages in the .NET Core. So we will discuss more about it in the next upcoming videos. For now I think you got an idea how you can proceed with the ASP.NET Core Razor pages. So that's all in this video. Thank you guys for watching.